G'day there, Craig from Fully Air Conditioning here. Today I'm just going to go through and have a look at defrost on an air conditioner. We're going to look at why it needs to go through defrost and what happens during defrost. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the force is going to defrost. We're just going to crank the temperature right up. So we've got it set for 30. It's 22 in the room. Got the fan on medium, it's heating, it's 8 o'clock, and there's still frost outside. Righto, so it's a nice cold but sunny day in Canberra. I'll just show you. So, glass here, and the pool's all frozen. We'll go and have a look at the aircon now. So yeah, I think this morning it got down to -4. Currently now it's above 0, but so here's the air conditioning unit. Yeah, I just got 2 of them set up here. You'll notice there's a lot of water on the ground, and it's frozen, and that's because the air coming out of these is very cold. I've put these on plastic feet, and I've got to put a drain kit on it. I just haven't done that yet. Another one of those things that you never get around to. Like they say, mechanics' cars never fixed. An air conditioner is a person that does air conditioning, I suppose their air conditioner's never finished either. Anyway, so they're the units. So what you'll notice here on the back of the system is that we have some heavy frosting. Okay, and that frosting is happening not because of the cold weather outside. Sorry, not because of the cold weather outside. It's happening because the gas in the system is very cold. The gas in these systems on the evaporator side, so this is where the cold gas is at the moment at the outdoor, is probably boiling off, I don't know, let's say -10. Probably 10K differential between outside temperature to the gas temperature. So yeah, that's right, it's boiling at -10. When something boils, it absorbs heat. So it's absorbing heat from the air that might be -2 or 3. So it's picking up 8K of heat. So even though I'm saying that it's boiling at -10, it is still absorbing heat. And that is the reason why the coil is freezing over. On a day where the outside air temperature is 6 degrees, well, the coil might only be -5, but that 6-degree air going across it is probably enough to not let it ice over. But then once we start getting below 6, we definitely get ice forming. Like if the time is correct and the temperature of the coil is correct, then it will initiate a defrost. That's usually after about 40-45 minutes. So what we're going to do is just going to let this go through a defrost and check it. We're also going to put our dongle onto the system. We're going to actually look at what pressure it's running at and the temperature, just so that we can see how cold the gas is and understand why it freezes over. Yeah, like that's all frost. Yeah, it's like sort of, I suppose, snow. There's a better picture. And then you evenly get frosted. Sometimes you get like a little bit of banding like this on the unit. That's quite normal, and that will fill up with ice. But once this becomes saturated and you know, it's not absorbing any more heat, then we'll go through a defrost process. Alright, so this is the outdoor unit. You've got the PC board, compressor, connecting pipes, reversing valve. This is all live, so I wouldn't recommend, unless you're a qualified refrigeration air conditioning technician, to open your outdoor unit up, especially when it's on, because high voltage in here, yeah, you can easily be killed. So we're going to connect this up. This is a Daikin wireless adapter. So this connects by Wi-Fi to your phone, and then I can look at all the temperatures of all the thermistors on the outdoor unit. You've got this little harness here, and we've got about 7 or 8 thermistors coming off there. There's a couple more thermistors here as well. So they're checking temperatures around the system and adjusting the compressor speed. You can probably hear the compressor, the hum of the compressor speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down. So it's running at its maximum. It's trying to do all the work it can. So yeah, we'll fit this up. Okay, we know it's connected now because we've got the little red light flashing. Now the painful part is to connect to the phone. So I'll hold this up and I'll show you what we do. I normally keep it right next to my phone. So we go to Bluetooth, BTSC. Once it connects, the light should go solid. So this has already been pre-configured. I'll do a video on this and show you how to set that up. So now that once that's connected, light's on. We get out of settings and we open up the Daikin app, which is here. Go to record. And BTSC comes up, tap on that. We're going to go record only, and then we'll push that to select the unit. So this here will go through and find the outdoor unit and make communications, comms, through this to the unit. Once it's made comms, then we just need to select the outdoor model number, so that it knows what to look at when it's talking to the unit. And then we'll be able to look at all the temperatures. This doesn't always go smoothly. The Daikin app is notoriously painful. Sometimes it can take half an hour to connect. Other times you'll get it done in 5 minutes. But yeah, just bear with me. Okay, so it has connected. Don't know if you can see this. I'll do a video of it later. But anyway, then we unselect it, so we select an indoor. So here we've got an RZQS 160. So then once I've done that, tick. So then it comes up with all the data. So let's go to here. And we'll open up all the screens. So yeah, from here we can see operating and heating. Discharge temperature is 74 degrees. High pressure is 1.4 MPa, which I don't know if that's quite right. 1.6 MPa is suction side. On 147 hertz. That's jumping up and down. I think 174 hertz is the highest, and then it's dropping down to 164. So it's hunting, trying to get full capacity. Maybe we need a bit more fan speed. Our liquid temperature is 45 degrees there, so that's the coil temperature. So that's probably why it's slowing down, because 46 is the targeted temperature that the unit's trying to operate in heating. If we look at the outdoor suction temperature, low pressure, so it's just refreshing. So yeah, suction temperature minus 4.5. So even though it's minus 4.5, the gas, and the outside temperature here is 2 degrees, there's about a 6K differential between the suction temperature and what temperature it is out here, 6 or 7K, which is what it's meant to be. So yeah, the gas is boiling at minus 4.6. The temperature outside is 2 degrees. It's kicking up 6.7K. That 6.7K is then compressed, and we're ending up with a coil temperature of 45.5 degrees. So yeah, this is running as hard as it can. We just need to wait now for it to go into defrost. So I'll just explain what happens when it does go into defrost. So when the unit does go into defrost, the heating still stays written on the screen. You'll notice that you might have it set for 22 and it might only still be 18 degrees inside. The fan will turn off. So you're going, oh, why is the fan turned off? We haven't reached temperature yet. Well, it's because the outdoor unit is saturated with ice and it needs to defrost. So the first process is the indoor fan turns off, and that's to stop blowing cold air around. The reversing valve, which is this thing here, it reverses the gas flow. It sends the cold gas inside this time and the hot gas outside to the outdoor coil. The outdoor coil, the compressor continues to run, and it will run and then melt all the ice. Yes, we're sending cold gas to the indoor, and that's why we turn the fan off. It does absorb heat from the indoor unit, so it does absorb some heat. When the ducted system is put in the ceiling, you can get the effect of cold air spilling out of the outlets, and we'll see if we can try and measure that and show you it doing it. But it's not blowing cold air, but cold air is heavy and it falls, so it wants to fall down to the ground. So if you had a thermal camera, it would look like a waterfall coming out of the vents. Not a lot of cold, but like it's a negative to heating your house. And so that's why it's really important to size the system properly. So I don't know how long this is going to take. It could take 45 minutes because I think it went into a defrost earlier this morning, or it definitely has. These turned on we have these turning on at 5:30 in the morning. We have a minimum set temperature of 17 during the night. Last night got down to -3.5. It didn't come on at all. It all depends on how well insulated your house is. The worse your house is insulated, then the more heat you're going to need to add. Your house loses heat at the same rate. If you can improve the insulation and stop the heat loss, then you'll go a long way to reducing your running costs and being able to get away with a smaller system, or have a system that isn't running flat out to heat your house up. So anyway, we'll just keep waiting and watching. And I'm going to go inside because it's freaking freezing out here with this cold air blowing on me. Okay, I believe one of the units is going to go into defrost in a second. I can hear the compressor winding down. So to reduce noise, what the Daikin does is they wind the compressor speed down to low speed, and then they change the reversing valve over. The reversing valve, you know, you've got high pressure gas on one side and low pressure on the other. And when you change it over, there's a big whoosh sound, whoosh, like that. And to combat that noise, they've now decided to ramp the compressor down, change over the reversing valve, then speed it back up. Good because it stops the noise, bad because it's now increasing the amount of time that the air conditioner is off and not actually heating. Okay, so I've just opened up the cover of the smaller unit here, and I believe this is about to go into defrost. Here we've got the reversing valve up there. There's the four-way valve. We've got basically our suction two pipes there going in and out of the valve, and then we've got a discharge pipe at the top here, and then it's going out this one to the indoor unit. Yeah, the coil is now heavily saturated. So just about completely covered. You can see you can't even, no air's getting through there. Bit of air's getting through down the bottom there, and that's it. So this won't be long off a defrost. Sun's coming out, which is nice. So the compressor's just wound right down. You can just hear that. So this is about to initiate a defrost. If I keep the camera on the reversing valve, we will see the pipe start melting quite quickly. And so there's the reversing valve flicking over. Gas is gone to the inside now, the outdoor fan has just turned off, so it's stopped spinning. The compressor now, I don't know if you can hear it there, it's starting to speed up, sending the cold gas inside. If we have a look at the coil, it should already start melting. So down the bottom there, we can see that it's starting to melt. It's starting to melt here. And we'll start getting water pouring out of the bottom of the unit. We'll try and capture that. So yeah, so you come to the outdoor unit, you probably can hear that one still running, and it's not far off a defrost either. But this is still making noise, the compressor's running, fan is off. Sending the cold gas inside now through these two pipes. So these two pipes will now become quite cold, and the hot gas is going to the outdoor unit. This takes about 10 minutes, maybe 15 usually. So for that 10 minutes, you're not getting any heat in the house. So it's a negative. So if your system has, 20 kilowatts and it's off for a quarter of the time, well, you've only got 15 kilowatts to play with now. The next thing is that it has less capacity at -5, so there's less heat in the air, so you've lost a few more kilowatts, so then you're down to even less. Here's the coil now, and you can really start to see the ice melting and the water running down the coil. And if we have a look under the unit, I don't know if you can see that very well, but we've got water dripping out of it. We've got water running out of the system. And there's a good amount of water just there. Each defrost, I reckon it would probably drop maybe a litre of water, possibly. So it's going to continue to run. We might quickly go inside and have a look at what's on the controller. Okay, so here on the controller, we can see that set for 24. Sorry, set for 30, only 24 in here. The fan says it's on and it's on heating, but there's nothing coming out. There's no air coming out of the vents up here. So it's not operating. And then the next thing we can see is that we have a frozen water droplet, the thermistor temperature symbol, and a fan symbol. Now those three symbols come up when the system is in defrost. That's to let you know it's in defrost. The other time those symbols come up is when it's in preheat. So when the system is preheating to heat up to heat the indoor coil, those symbols come up. Okay, so we weren't quick enough. It's already changed over back into heating. So we can see now that the outdoor fan's on. The refrigeration pipe, that's basically the pipe going to the outdoor unit and coil. And then this is the suction accumulator. So it's all starting to freeze over again, whereas before that had all defrosted. If we have a look at the coil, it's starting to ice. The water on there is already starting to freeze. I think that defrost for this unit here, I don't know, it would have been on off for probably less than 10 minutes. Yeah. You can already hear the creaking sound as the coil shrinks due to the temperature change. So that's another normal thing that you'll hear. Yeah, that's just what it does. So back into heating mode, and pipes are starting to warm up again, this one. That's where the hot gas is sent to the indoor. At the moment, the indoor coil will still be heating up. So it'll still be heating up. Once it heats up and reaches 35 degrees, then the fan, it's a DC fan motor, so it starts pulsing on slowly. Yeah, but this is now back into full stride of heating, fans running flat out, compressors ramping up, air off. This is very cold. I can hear the compressor stepping up. So I don't think it'll be far away, and the bigger unit will go into defrost, and then we'll be able to look at some of the things on the screen of the Daikin D-checker. And we'll be able to look at the temperature changes, so how hot the coil is now at the indoor, and then how cold it gets, and how cold the outdoor coil is at the moment, and then how hot it will get. So yeah, here we now have minus 10.6 on the outdoor coil. Outdoor air temperature 2.6. So yeah, it's about 8K differential, 9K differential. So yeah, this is running really hard. It's quite iced, as you can see. There, it's all white, and it's not far off going through a defrost. So yeah, our temperature's getting colder and colder. So now here, our suction temperature, minus 13.5. So our gas is boiling off at well below that. So it's probably boiling off to say minus, I don't know, minus 15. Outside, air temperature, 2.3 degrees. So there's quite a differential in what the temperature is of the gas and what the temperature is outside. So it is picking up heat. The reason this has dropped off so far is because it's not picking up much heat, because the coil is quite iced. So it's allowing the gas to run at a lower pressure. Lower pressure equals a lower temperature. We've still got 174 hertz, so it's on 100%. We're dropped off in liquid temperature here, so we're down to 37. So because we're absorbing less heat from outside, because the coil is covered in ice, we get a drop off in capacity. So we're down to 37 degree coil temperature. Earlier it was up to like 45, and the compressor was ramping down because it was at its maximum, 46. So won't be long, this will go into defrost as well, and we'll be able to have a look at some of the temperatures. So when it does go through defrost, one thing we will see is this liquid temperature for the indoor unit. This will come right down because we're sending the cold gas inside. And I think it's about to go into defrost. So I can hear the compressor winding down, and if we have a look here, we can see it winding down. So here it's on 51 hertz, 151 hertz, sorry, 131 hertz, 111 hertz. So it's winding down. Temperature's going to come down in at the indoor coil. It's on 92 hertz now. 73 hertz. .72. There's the reversing valve changing over, the hiss of that. The fans have now turned off. compressor, you can just hear it there, it's starting to speed up. Sending the gas, hot gas inside. If we look at the coil, it's frozen. Might just keep it there for a bit and you can actually watch it start changing in temperature. As the ice melts. Might take a minute, we'll go back to it. Here we can see our hertz of our compressor have now wound back up. 131. When we look at the indoor coil temperature, liquid temperature, it was 37 before, now it's 10. Now it's gone down to 5. This only refreshes every 5 seconds. Outdoor heat exchanger, it's 1 degree now. So suction temperature is 13.1. So it's starting to melt the ice. We should see that. We should see the ice start to band. Yeah, there at the top, it's gone. That will continue on until all the ice is melted. We'll start to get water flowing out the front of the unit. This is frozen. There it is, dripping at the bottom, if you can see that very well. See how the coil's going on there. In here. Yep, so that's melting more and more. You actually can see it shrinking back there as the frost melts and turns to a liquid. Let's have a look what's happening inside. So our coil temperature now, inside liquid temperature, minus 22 degrees. So that's a far cry from what it was before. At our maximum it was 46. So the indoor coil's gone from a change of temperature of 46 down to minus 23. So that's like 60, 70k differential, and that'll probably increase more and more. Our outdoor heat exchangers now at 0.2. It's still 2 degrees outside. Our suction temperature is minus 32 degrees. So I'd expect this to come down even further. Again, minus 27 now. Coming back on this pipe here, which is our gas pipe. In heating, we're sending the hot gas in. At the moment, that is freezing cold. So if I wet my finger and stick it there, it's actually freezing my finger. So that's minus 37 degrees. Stick your tongue on that one and you're sure to lose a fair bit of skin off the tip of your tongue. Wouldn't recommend it. Let's have a look at the outdoor coil. It's still melting. The white frost is gone, but there's still ice there. Getting a good amount of water pouring out of this. It's cascading. There's a little bit of a waterfall. You can see that's how much water is coming out of it. It's quite a bit. It's clean, drinkable water, but it's just moisture from the air outside. So this is basically distilled water. Very clean, you could drink it. Okay, flipped over to recording with my phone because my trusty old camera card's full. Great. Anyway, so the unit's still in defrost. We'll flip it over again. The coil is just about all melted. So you can see there it's completely free of ice. Water stopped dripping out of it. So in a second we'll get the reversing valve changing over. That's the reversing valve here. You can see these two pipes at the back. There it goes, just changed over. Fan is now blowing. Sometimes what happens here is this is actually blowing out warm air, and you can see that my camera has just fogged over, so it's gone all foggy. At times after defrost you actually see a puff of steam coming out the front of the unit because it is blowing warm air into really cold outside air. So if it's like -2 outside and the coil is, I think the coil is at like 2 or 3 degrees and moist because it had just melted ice, you'd actually see a big puff of steam coming off the front of the unit. We've had people ringing up saying, oh, my air conditioner's on fire. But it's not really, it's just a bit of steam. So this is still in, the reversing valve hasn't changed over yet. We will hear that in a second. It does this to dry off the coil and get rid of some of the moisture by running the fan. You can see just how cold these two pipes are. So these are the pipes going to the indoor unit. They are extremely cold. I'll lick my finger and put it on there. Yeah, that was stuck to it. There goes the reversing valve, that big whoosh sound. Fans have turned back down to a lower speed. We can hear the compressor down here starting to speed up. We're going to get some of the frosting that's going to start melting on this as it sends the hot gas inside. We should see that very, very soon. Don't make me a liar, for nothing. There we go. So our warm gas is going inside. Yeah, it changes all back over. So yeah, that's defrost process. What's going to happen inside now is the temperature of the indoor coil is going to wait till it gets to 35 degrees. Once the coil reaches 35 degrees on that liquid thermistor, then it'll start bringing on the indoor fan motor. With the newer type units like this, DC fan motor, brings it on slowly. So it brings it on to a slow speed and then builds from there. Yeah, that's defrost. It's what needs to. It's what happens with an air conditioner. All air conditioners go through it. It's just understanding. It's making sure that the system is sized correctly to handle a defrost and still provide heating. Yeah, like and subscribe. Hopefully this video doesn't go too long, but I think it will. Thanks. See ya.
When the sun's beating down and the sweat on your brow, fully air conditioned. When there's ice on your toes and there's frost on your nose, fully air conditioned. When you can't sleep at night cause it's hot as hell inside and you think you're gonna go insane. Or when you're having no fun cause your hands and toes are numb, you only need to remember one name. Keep the winter chills away, tell the summer heat no way. Fully air conditioned.